Good morning. It is, I'm going to stop right there because over the last uh, 3 years or so, I've been with you every morning. I think maybe with one or two exceptions every morning, uh, kind of since the pandemic locked us all down for a while. And almost every morning, uh, because all of my talks here are sort of cataloged on on YouTube. I was looking at some old ones, and every morning I start off by saying it is, and then I say what day it is, or or something, or it is Christmas Eve, or it is. And I always start off, and Constance noticed it and sort of made reference or drew my attention to it. Uh, and so when I click it on, I always hear myself repeating, it is. It is. Well, today it is June 21st. Let's go back to it is, though, for a second. I don't know if you read much of my stuff, but when I talk about God and the name of God and what name is, I think, is descriptive of the total singularity that is the source of the creation of existence. I came up with, or at least Rabbi Ben Clifford came up with the term "what it is." You know, Aheya Ashar Aheya in Hebrew is what the burning bush told Moses what its name was. My name is Aheya Ashur Aheya. I am that I am, which is Popeye says that too, and that is pretty profound. But the rabbi came up with the term the great what it is. And I like that. Okay. So Yod He Vav He, or what it is. And when Constance pointed out, I start every morning by saying, it is. That's even better. It is. 2 words, 4 letters. And, but IT in thelemic magic is quite a word. Yod Tet. And among other things, you could look at Yod Tet, it, in the Crowley's Book of Lies. He's got a whole string of chapters talking about it. And if it's spelled Yod Tet, that Yod is the creative force, like Yod, the hermit, sperm, the hidden creative force, and Tet, the lion serpent of like the lust card, you know, is the what was hidden in the hermit is outward expressed, exuberantly expressed in the letter Tet. And then it's really cool. It's just like latent creation manifested creation. Uh, it's like if you'd look inside a seed. Okay, if you dissect a seed magically and get right in the middle of the seed, you'd see that there's an invisible nothing that is still containing the code of absolutely everything that seeds, you know, all the generations to come. Look at an acorn, look inside an acorn. And when you see that invisible, whatever it is, it's the code of all the oak trees that ever came before and the code of all the oak trees that will ever be. It. It is. Okay. But I'm digressing. It is July 21st. And you know that grasping at straws to find something fun to talk about every morning, I will say today it is July something National Hot Dog Day, and I'll go off on something about hot dogs and buns and sex and it and sperm and I'll drag anything out of anything. Or as the Kabbalists say, I will draw everything out of nothing. But today's a special day because 99 years ago today, a trial ended in Tennessee. And it's come to be known as the Scopes monkey trial. And it ended, and it was, first of all, it was considered illegal to teach anything contrary to the Bibles, the Christian Bible. They didn't even recognize that the Christian Bible was a Jewish Bible too. So, but it was against the law in Tennessee and many other places, but especially in Tennessee, where they cared about that stuff. It's against the law to teach in a public school anything that would contradict the Bible's narrative on creation. Now, there was a school teacher named Scopes. I don't know his first name right off the bat. And he was teaching, I think, just regular high school biology. And he was teaching about Darwin and the theory of natural selection and all of that. He didn't go out of his way to say, and this means the Bible's wrong or anything like that. He was just teaching the theory of evolution, Darwin's theory of evolution. And he was arrested and he was fired. And it was such an example of organized governmental willful ignorance that it came to the attention of the young ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, whose main attorney at the time was Clarence Darrow, a brilliant, progressive lawyer who had a reputation of defending the underdog in all sorts of situations. It didn't matter what side of the political coin the underdog was. The ACLU and Clarence Darrow were there to defend them, especially if they had no other funds. Clarence Darrow in the American Civil Liberties Union picked up this case and took it to trial because it was illegal for Scopes to teach that. He taught it. He was arrested, put on trial, spent time in jail, and put on trial. And it became the first trial ever to be broadcast on radio. It was a big thing. Now, I've told you many times that when I was a kid, okay, I don't know why I thought about this stuff a lot, but I did. And because I was forced, I guess you would say, to go to Sunday school and be active in the kind of youth religious movement within the Methodist churches we attended. And I went to summer Bible school, and I lit candles and at church services and sang in the choir and all of that stuff. Church was a big part of my life, but I didn't believe any of it. I couldn't believe any of it. It sounded so stupid to me, and I don't know where I got that critical faculty. Maybe it was because I got to watch TV when I was a kid. Whatever it was, I instantly recognized that a literal belief in the Bible was pure bullshit. Not that Jesus or the teachings or any of that was bullshit, but the whole God thing, man in the sky, killing his son, yeah, that I knew it was bullshit. And the one saving grace that stuck in Columbus, Nebraska there, as a kid, my one saving thing was I could go to the movies every Saturday and every Sunday late afternoon. That was my treat. That was my religion. Because the movies gave me everything that religion should give you or give a kid in those days. And when I was 12 years old, I took my 25 cents and went to the Columbus Theater. I believe it was on 14th Street in Columbus, Nebraska. And I plopped it down every Saturday to see whatever was playing. And there was a movie, it was in black and white still. This is 1960. 12 years old. And the movie that weekend was Inherit the Wind, which is a movie about the Scopes monkey trial. And it starred Spencer Tracy and Frederick March. Believe it or not, both of those actors I was already familiar with and was great fans of. And was it Dick York? Yes, I think it was Dick York, who played Samantha on Bewitched. Her first husband played Scopes. Okay. And anyway, it was my first exposure to that whole Scopes monkey trial thing. And Inherit the Wind is a bit fictionalized, okay, but it's pretty much what went down. And Spencer Tracy played Clarence Darrow, and his cross-examination of Williams Jennings Bryan who was defending Christian nationalism. I'll come out and say it. He was defending Christian nationalism. Now, William Jennings Bryan, the great orator of Nebraska, ran for president, I don't know how many times. In all other matters, he was a progressive guy. But he was totally brainwashed with fundamental Christian belief, a literal belief in the Bible, an unhealthy literal belief in every twist and turn and absurdity in the Bible. And he was a great attorney, and he was a famous guy, and he was the prosecutor. He was or at least yes. And Clarence Darrow, the ACLU cool guy, was friends, family friends with Clarence Darrow, William Jennings Bryan. They were family friends. They loved each other. But they had that one thing that stood between them being just totally on the same glorious page together. And that was willful ignorance. Now, if you've never seen Inherit the Wind, you can go to YouTube, I'm sure, and see the whole thing. It's glorious. It's painful. It's insightful. And every freaking person in Florida ought to watch that movie 7 times a day until they get it. Excuse me. This is Sunday school. Anyway, Scopes was found guilty. But the trial and Clarence Darrow's busting the chops of William Jennings Bryan was so serious that it killed William Jennings Bryan. Well, not that day, okay. But he was so mercilessly busted, intellectually eviscerated by Clarence Darrow. It's in the movie. You just want to scream because you care about, all these people. It was a great movie, and I was a 12-year-old kid in Columbus, Nebraska. But from that moment on, I can smell, I can spot willful ignorance a mile off. And what I'm seeing in the world today, and what I'm seeing in the country today, is really disturbing to me. Constance made a painting a while back, and I posted, I'm sure you can go through my photos and find it, shows a fist, and it just says, resist willful ignorance. And I guess that's my message for today, because it is July 21st, 99 years since a school teacher in Tennessee was found guilty of teaching facts. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will, and resist willful ignorance.